Please read. Who'd like to try? Yes, JD.
The bride, beaming with happiness, looked.
To enhance pro-social behavior and increase student academic engagement, classroom management must be implemented in every classrooms. Classroom management is the process of generating and preserving appropriate behavior of students in classroom setting, which is generally directed by teachers as classroom managers. And to determine the teaching success, teachers must be firm with the entire classroom management process. A teacher is considered as effective when he or she can handle a heterogeneous class with students of all achievement levels and can understand and practice a specific teaching techniques. He or she should also be able to yield powerful advances in the ways the students learn.
Okay, I have here a word web. Let us try to know more about the life of Petrarch. All you have to do now is to note the important details that you have read in his life story, and then you write them here on the board. Let's just have words or phrases here.
Okay, in the context of the observed video, the teacher is judged as effective because she can impeccably manage a class with heterogeneity, although it's not deniable that the students are equally participative. All of the students actively participate and recite when their names are called. However, it's evident that their answers differ in terms of accuracy and precision to the given questions, therefore implying heterogeneity among students in the video observed. Also, the teacher utilized a specific technique wherein advancement of technology was enjoyed and the topic was introduced and revealed through asking of the students' opinions and providing context clues to unlock the unfamiliar words that the students might encounter throughout the discussion and giving questions that will direct the learners to a deeper understanding of the subject matter.
Okay, the selection that we are going to study today is somewhat going to talk about love, and then let's try to discover what kind of love actually is the character or the persona in that particular selection as I'm talking about.
Let's move forward to rules and procedures and designing the rules and regulations in the classroom. Classroom management rules are effective because they increase student success by creating an orderly learning environment that enhances students' academic skills and competences as well as their social and emotional development. Every teacher wants to keep their students safe and disciplined by teaching them what is and is not an appropriate behavior in class. Classroom rules are set to teach a student a proper and safe way to act within the classroom, and thus improving the student learning. However, rules and procedures vary from one teacher to another and from one classroom to another. Implementing rules and regulations on a classroom depends on the approach of a teacher, but the most effective classroom management rules that a teacher can make involves designing it before implementing it. In the video entitled Classroom Observation, Tool for Proficient Teacher, that our group decided to watch and observe on YouTube, the teacher possesses the fundamental characteristics of designing and implementing rules and regulations to the classroom. This makes her an effective educator, able to manage a diverse students and mold their academic success as well as their morals. First and foremost, on the beginning of her proper discussion, the teacher made it clear about her general expectations on the behavior of her student during the class. The class should adhere to a cooperative learning where they should answer questions based on the topic every now and then. As a teacher, she exhibits control on the behavior and attitude of her student while the discussion is ongoing. We have observed that the teacher is not soft-spoken, but she actually got an authoritative voice that helps her implement her rules and policies to the class. In the beginning, middle, up to the end of her discussion, the rule is to ask a student to read what's on the board and then she will ask someone to give his or her idea about it, and then she will supply more knowledge into it. In that way, she was able to instill focus on the classroom discussion. Second, she doesn't allow any interruptions from the class unless otherwise a student voluntarily raise his or her hand and answer the question. But most of the time, she called someone to give his or her idea.
Okay, now I will be grouping you according to your inclination. Let us use the same groupings that we had last time.
Moreover, in terms of the materials and equipment that she used in the discussion, she utilizes a laptop, projector, and visual aids which are really helpful, visible, and accessible to the parts of the students. Each slide, she will ask someone to read it and give his or her idea about it. She also makes use of task card in creating group works and provide rubric afterwards, so students will have a guide on how they are going to complete the task. After the teacher read the rubrics, we have noticed that it was clear, concise, and easy to understand. Hence the reason why it became easy on the part of the students. The students were grouped into three. There's a group for the singers, the writers, and the actors. In this way, it enables the students to show their knowledge in a more artistic and creative way depending on which talent they are more comfortable with. Lastly is the rules implemented by the teacher in terms of the seating arrangement of the class. The boys are sitting on the right side, whereas the girls are sitting on the left side of the room. This seating arrangement looks organized and comfortable, and it has a big impact to the students. Instructional communication theory suggests that seating arrangements can impact how the instructors communicate with the students and how students interact with one another, impacting both engagement, motivation, and focus of the students. That's all. Thank you.
Again, you have 10 minutes to do the activity. Go to your respective groups now. Timer starts now.
Students' involvement in designing and implementing consequences versus punishment. In the classroom setting, designing and implementing consequences and punishment is very important because it helps children to be aware to own up to their actions and face the fallout when they make poor choices. We must set consequences for us to make wise decisions in life, whether they are natural or logical, because consequences help us to learn and grow. When kids experience the results of their actions, they learn to make better choices and improve their behavior. Whereas punishment is merely implemented in school as it is more on pressuring the child, punishment is more on demanding the things to do in this way and such, not giving the children the freedom to decide on their action. Unlike implementing consequences where children are given the choice of what action they should make, considering that they have an idea of what consequences follows. For example, in the classroom, the child is free to decide whether he or she will take his or her study seriously, aware that he or she might fail as a consequence of her or his action. In designing and implementing consequences versus punishment in the classroom, student involvement is very important. It is better if the students are aware of or have an idea of what kind of consequences they will face if they don't follow classroom rules and regulations. Here, learners can think about and evaluate their actions and decisions. In the video that we observed entitled Classroom Observation Tool for Profession Teachers, we can see that the teacher is giving the learners the freedom to express their ideas and opinions on a certain topic. They are given the chance to freely speak what they have in mind to come up with more ideas for a broad understanding. Everyone in the room feels accepted since the teacher doesn't give negative comments when the students gives the wrong answer. Instead, she will give the correct answer, not offending the student. She also did not show that one's answer will be invalidated if it is not the answer to her question. She will then give a short compliment after a child says his or her answer. The video shows that the learner's ideas are as important as the teacher's ideas to make a healthy classroom, and it strengthens the learner's awareness of their responsibilities as a student.
Good morning, class. Be seated. Is everyone present today? Who's not around?
Robina Rebuyo is absent.
Robina?
Getting off a good start. The group observed that the classroom is only plain. There's no such arrangement and decorations in the classroom, like reading corner, health corner, charts, signboard, bulletin board, teacher's table in the back of the class, CR, and so on, in a manner that this supports effective classroom management. It has only blackboard, teacher's table in the front of the class, and students' chairs. Moreover, in starting the class, the teacher greet her students and asks who is or are absent in the class. Afterwards, the teacher started presenting or showing a tweet and quotes from social media before starting the class discussion. They had an interaction in which they shared their thoughts and opinions about the tweet and quotes that the teacher showed. It's more on learners-centered discussion.
Okay, let's start first with grew up in Carpentras. Gab.
Francisco Petrarch grew up in
Teacher-student relationships. In the video, the group observed that the teacher listen and take a personal interest in students' lives. They show respect, value the individuality of each student, and are kind and polite. The students are willing to participate in the class discussion of the teacher because the teacher gives everyone a chance to speak and share their thoughts. The teacher gives honest but kind of feedback and offers second chances. The teacher also helped her students with their activities, schoolworks, manage the classroom well, and perhaps, most importantly, they plan fun activities in the class.
Right? So there are still other possibilities. But let's hear from the boys. Idol.
I will do just like what Petrarch did because
Petrarch?
for me, I think that in the
Let's move on to the classroom management styles. Authors have posited that to effectively teach students, it's empirical to create a learning environment which is safe, known, and motivates the latter to learn. To establish such type of learning environment, teachers' roles are largely crucial. Their ability to maintain control over his or her classroom is also essential. Again, in the context of the video, the teacher employed an authoritative management style because evidently, she have a high expectations of appropriate behavior among her students, and most importantly, there is an obvious manifestation of a warm student-teacher relationship. Through the employed teaching technique where the teacher prompts questions related to the topic, she is not just teaching her learners how to discern a poem, but also to be socially competent and responsible. Although the teacher was seen to be dominant in the class, she can't be perceived as being cold and punitive. In fact, the learning atmosphere wasn't restrictive, although it's true that she is not soft-spoken. The teacher had many demands on students in terms of class participation, but still freedom was observed as their shared individual thoughts and opinions were all being acknowledged by their teacher. After all, I could say that the classroom management style that the teacher in the observed video have employed was effective and efficiently supports the learning of each student.
What is it? There is an exaggeration. Very good.
Embodying communication, social skills, and appropriate behaviors is an important part of the teaching and learning process. There is a great need in encouraging positive relationships and at the same time preventing disruption and motivating students to learn racist, complex issues. In the video entitled Classroom Observation Tool for Profession Teachers that our group have found out on YouTube, the teacher have fundamentally possessed some of the characteristics of an effective behavior to manage the students in the school setting. First and foremost, she respects the strengths and weaknesses of her students. It can be seen when the teacher recognized the answers of her students. She even commented the answers of her student if it is correct or partially wrong. With this note, the students knows that their efforts to answer the questions are recognized and respected. Second, she understood that social emotional growth is a never-ending process. It can be vividly seen in the presentation when the teacher conducted a group activity wherein all the students are needed to participate in order for them to build social skills, which is fundamental for them to develop self-efficacy and confidence. Third, she communicated eloquently the roles, goals, and expectations in her class. It can be seen in the very first part of the video wherein she presented the objectives of the lesson for the learners to know the outcome of the topic.
Would like to try? Yes, JD.
The bride, beaming with happiness, looked radiant.
Fourth, she exhibited high degrees of empathy and self-efficacy. This is one of the most important characteristics that a teacher should possess in the school environment for them to be able to build a strong connection towards their learners. Lastly, she responded to behaviors consistently and predictably. This characteristic can be seen in the video wherein some of the students raised their hands and the teacher recognized this behavior that the students are showing in the class. Hence, she gave value to these students. It is pivotal as it will be a stepping stone for the learners to become more productive and at the same time build self-trust and confidence. Moreover, Chaplin 2003 believed that schools and teachers can influence the extent and quality of learning for all students. Educators have control over numerous factors that influence motivation, achievement, and behavior of students. In the said video, the teacher exhibited behaviors that contributed to successful classroom management. First, having materials organized. This is absolutely one of the best things that you can quickly see in the video. The seating arrangement of the class is well organized. The boys are sitting on the right side, whereas the girls are sitting on the left side of the room. We can also observe that her materials in the board, such as her visual aids, are well organized and that would not hinder students' focus. Second, being aware of multiple elements of the group functioning simultaneously. This can be seen in the video wherein the teacher grouped the class with different tasks. With this note, she was able to integrate effective activities that is not only dealing with a specific outcome but also with multiple elements.
Okay,
To learn to understand.
so they're actually talking about two different things.
In addition, the module have also presented that having high levels of self-efficacy would lead to have a positive effect on behavior management as well as academic achievement. Hence, in the video, the teacher efficiently exhibited the following qualities which resulted for an effective classroom teaching and learning process. First, caring. Second, friendly. Third, relaxed, humorous, analytical of behavior and motives. Fourth, able to sympathize. And fifth, not easily incited to express anger, not easily depressed under difficult circumstances, etc. However, we have observed that the teacher is not soft-spoken, but she is actually more into having an authoritative voice, which is also good at teaching so that the students would instill focus in the classroom discussion. Above all, we can also say that the teacher is very knowledgeable in the field that she is working with, and that's the reason why she should be classified as an effective and efficient facilitator of learning.
That would be all for today.
Goodbye, Miss Raimi.
Golden virtues includes patience, determination, and consistency. In the classroom, A teacher must have the ability to be patient under any circumstances. To maintain good working relationships with the students that you teach, you need to be able to demonstrate patience. A great teacher is very patient with their students and to their job as well. You never give up on your students and would try out new ways to help them succeed in school. Patience is more important for teachers of subjects like science, mathematics, and English. Some students can comprehend this subject material with minimal effort, while others may require more extensive explanations that may have to be repeated a number of times. By understanding the importance of patience in our life as a teacher, we can learn how to develop a healthy attitude and a healthy learning environment. Second is determination. Effective classroom management takes skill, but it also takes determination. Determination is the essence of increasing your chances of being successful in a particular thing or achieving a particular classroom goal, and it can also help you to stay motivated and continue striving towards the one thing that you want to achieve. As a teacher, you need to be determined to set the rules and regulations in your class that you will not just impart learnings to the students, but also mold their values and characters. The teacher with the most effective classroom management skills are the teachers who are determined to follow through and apply their rules consistently, whatever the situation. Consistency is the third. It is critical to creating space for effective learning environments. Students are able to participate in learning more effectively when they have a clear understanding of classroom procedures and their importance. Consistency also helps teachers to feel more organized and less stressed. The more consistent a teacher is, the more trust and respect students and their parents have for the teacher. That's all. Thank you.